and welcome to lesson 48 of A Course in Miracles, using the White Edition, available online. Just Google it, A Course in Miracles White Edition, you'll find it. Good coffee. So lesson 48, there is nothing to fear. And it's easy to say that, and easy to accept it because at face value it makes sense and everything else. But that doesn't mean that I don't have in my association of myself all these fearful premises that I've already constructed in order to try and attempt to maintain my distance from myself, to keep me separate from God. And those obvious constructions show up in relationships every time I have a grievance or an upset or a judgment about someone or something, and every time I put my foot in my mouth, like this morning. Anyway, moving on. It's funny when you've been doing this for a long time, or what seems like a long time. I guess I've been consciously involved with this course for 20 years. And it seems always as if it's just like you're right back at lesson 1 every day. Nothing I see means anything. And it's just like... But it's funny, it just gets funnier. It's like the mistakes you make, you just laugh at yourself for making them more rather than judging yourself. And the old idea that there were things to fear becomes kind of like just a joke, And I think somewhere in the Course Jesus says it is a joke to believe that you can be separate from God. And the punchline is, when you learn to laugh at yourself. And really, that's, one of the things Australians used to be known, I think, just trying to get this straight here. Australians used to be known for laughing at themselves, not taking ourselves seriously. And I think even us as a race, and we're just talking on the physical dimension here, as a race, with all this political correct and everything that everybody likes to manifest these days, we've tend to have forgotten a bit about that, and we don't laugh at ourselves so much, and we're not so quick to be self-forgiving. But it's easy when you think that you're upsetting someone else, or when you think that your comments or your actions or your things have an adverse effect out in the world. It's easy to feel down about things and to want to give up, to be down on yourself. But learning to laugh at yourself, learning to let go of your fears, learning to let go of those things that you think are fearful, with a joke. It's like, oh my God, how could I have thought, So this lesson simply states that fact. It's like there is nothing to fear, whether within, without. And I could tell you many stories of over the years of confrontations with people and events and situations wherein, through faith, I've had to apply the idea that there is nothing to fear, even though I am fearful, and stand there in that moment and allow the grace of God to reorchestrate, or to intervene, if you like, in my own thinking process, to show me that there was never anything to fear in the first place, making it all up. So there is nothing to fear. The idea for today simply states a fact. It is not a fact to those who believe in illusions, but illusions are not facts. In truth, there is nothing to fear. It is very easy to recognize this, but it is very difficult to recognize for those who want illusions to be true. Right, and therein lies the key word, want. If I am fearful, it's because I want to be fearful. I've chosen it. Right, it's me that's making this manifest. Right. Today's practice periods will be very short, very simple, and very frequent. Merely repeat the idea as often as possible. You can use it with your eyes open at any time and in any situation. It is strongly recommended, however, that you take a minute or so whenever possible to close your eyes and repeat the idea to yourself several times. It is particularly important that you use the idea immediately should anything disturb your peace of mind. The presence of fear is a sure sign that you are trusting in your own strength, right? The awareness that there is nothing to fear shows that somewhere in your mind, not necessarily in a place which you recognize as yet, you have remembered God and let his strength take the place of yours. The instant you are willing to do this, there is indeed nothing to fear. And where it says close your eyes and repeat it several times to yourself, I'm not sure if I told this story before, but I was sitting in the meditation room or the session room one day. My job there in part was to play the music, and when whoever the teacher was of that day wasn't teaching, wasn't talking, we would just have music playing and there would be meditation and stuff. So I was just sitting on the side, and there was probably about 70 or 80 people at this particular gathering, and I was just sitting at the side, and what was it? No, I'm getting my stories confused. But anyway, there was something going on for me, and I remember asking. No, it's gone. But the thing, that's what I was getting at. Whatever it was that brought it about, the repetition, right? So close your eyes and repeat. And the thing that came to me was there's nothing to worry about, right? That was the voice in my head told me there's nothing to worry about. And I sat, and for 100 times I made a decision. I'm going to repeat this slowly to myself 100 times with conscious focus on it as I say it. And I did it, and I think by about the 60th time, there was this kind of really grounding, energetic sort of shift in my mind. And I still completed the 100 repetitions, but it made a huge difference to whatever was going on. And that's one of the things that happens, with transformation, because you're training your mind to let go of the past, not worry about the future. Things just go, and you'll find that things in the past just go, but only things that you won't need, right? Your journey is set. So obviously I don't need that story or whatever. I must have already expressed it, and it's been used to whatever its max potential is. So that's the other thing. You're just potential, right? Human beings, or the idea of a human being, is just a package of potential wherein a choice that is being made and seemingly made again and again and again, but really is only the one choice to repent, right? It's like once that choice is made once in the mind, it's just a matter of truing up to it. You're not actually making the same choice again and again. You've made it. And you're just remembering that you've made it. And that remembering is the process that the entirety of the course is focusing your mind to do. Right? So instead of forgetting what God is or whatever, there is a memory in us that we are remembering again and again and again through this action of applying the principles of this course, right? Wherein we are constantly doing this, boom, 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 instead of we, you, everything out there, whatever. It becomes I, right? In here, focus, 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 and the focus becomes internal. And much the same as with a hologram. If you had a hologram, like I think it's on a piece of plastic or whatever. I saw one once, but it was quite amazing. But if you were to break a piece off the hologram, and the hologram, if you shine a torch through it, let's say like a projector, and this is just a very simple analogy, but if you shine a torch through it onto a wall, you would have a picture, right? If you break a little piece off and shine a torch through that little piece, you would still have the whole picture. Right, now that's very scientific. I don't know how that's done, not interested how that's done. But our association with ourselves, with the world, with God and everything is very much like that. So let's say as a worldly identity, we have this picture of chaos, and I'm going to break my piece off and purify it. Right, so for a moment, there's this sort of bubble of grace wherein we can undergo, or I can undergo, bonk, 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 a transformation of the mind, right? And then that piece goes back in, right? Completely different. And it begins to affect the whole thing. But the point of focus always has to be here. Bong. All right, I love you. I forget where I was going with that. Just haven't had my coffee. And anyone who's coming to the healing workshop this afternoon, expect miracles. It'll be fun, and it's going to be a beautiful day for it. Peace.